Hey folks, this is Matt once again with the last review I'll do for today of my Killer Bee Day. And in my opinion, this is the best Killer Bee movie, but that might not be saying much. The Swarm. Now, The Swarm was a pretty much big budget film that was directed by Irwin Allen. Now, Irwin Allen was a guy who produced a lot of the famous disaster movies. You know, he was a producer on The Towering Inferno and The Poseidon Adventure. But as pretty much the 70s went to a close, late 70s, early 80s, a lot of the disaster movies were dying off. And in fact, two of the stuff he actually directed, this and Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, were big flops, critical and box office wise. Now, The Swarm, this is a film I just hated on a lot, and to be honest, I disagree with that. I really enjoy this film. I know people will make fun of me for it. I know people will say I'm crazy for it, but after watching stuff like The Bees with John Saxon, making the bees gay as part of the plot, or Deadly Bees, which was deathly boring, this film I enjoy. I mean, it's basically about killer bees, African killer bees that a little bit mutated, have a deadly venom to them. This version of the killer bees, they have gone to North America, and at first there's this a base that people go in, they find a bunch of dead bodies, they don't know what's going on. They also see Michael Caine there. Michael Caine's a guy who knows a little bit about bees, and he tells them about how, you know, shit has pretty much hit the fan, and pretty much these killer bees start fucking people up. It fucks up the entire town and moves to Houston and fucks up a city. And really, this cover doesn't lie. I mean, you got flamethrowers, yep, that's in there. Helicopters crashing, you got that. Bees fucking up a building, you got that. I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy this film, because I like the fact that I like those disaster films. Earthquake, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like, well, I'd be spoiling it, but I didn't like how it ended. Towering Inferno I enjoy. Poseidon Adventure, that's a good one. Even though I really like Gene Hackman, and, well, I hate what happened to him. I know I just spoiled that too, did I? Fuck it. It's from the 70s. But The Swarm, this dude's hated on a lot. It's called one of the worst films of all time. I know Michael Caine says this is the worst film he's done. I'm like, this is worse than Jaws 4? Even though I think he said in another interview, he's never seen Jaws 4. He just saw the house that bought Jaws 4. But I'm sorry, this is much better than that. I know people are going to ask, why do I like this film? First off, the cast. I mean, yeah, Michael Caine, Katharine Ross, Richard Widmark, Richard Chamberlain, Olivia de Havilland, Ben Johnson, Jose Ferrer, Patty Duke, Slim Pickens, Fred MacMurray as the mayor. Yeah, Henry Fonda. You got musical score by Jerry Goldsmith. In fact, if you watch the trailer that I'll put down below, that theme, which I like the theme in that trailer, it's actually in the movie, and that's Jerry Goldsmith. Dun, 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 dun. It's, you know, this is like one of those things. If I made a Killer Bee movie, I want to do it like this, where it's big, they got budget behind it. I think the effects look fine for what, 1978 this came out. I think they did what they could with it, and I like the effects. Granted, one of the few problems I had with the film, actually, it didn't bother me. I don't put this out there because it might bother you. This is only version they released on DVD is the extended version. Because I believe when this film came out, it was under 2 hours, which makes sense. It was under 2 hours. But for some reason, when they released on Laserdisc and then when they released on DVD, they only released the extended cut, which is about 40 minutes longer. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they only released the extended cut. So this one's like 2 hours and 35 minutes. And again, it didn't bother me because I know weirdly enough, it didn't bother me. I didn't really get that bored. Um, because I like the idea of this big epic, um, huge cast. They had some money to spend on ideally a Killer Bee film. I thought that's fun. It's like these Sci-Fi Channel films. I think they'd be more fun if they actually had a budget. This film had a budget. But I'm just warning you guys because if you ever see this, that might be a problem you have, is that it's 2.5 hours long, and it's because they only put the extended cut out there. But the stuff that happens, like finding the men dead on the base, I liked Michael Caine. I thought he was a no-nonsense guy. I thought he had a couple of good speeches and moments that he had with his general character. I like the guy who played the general character because he's kind of a hard ass, but at the same time, this guy's trying to talk bad about Michael Caine, and the guy's like, if you don't talk about him, don't talk about him behind his back. Okay, you trying to press me, stuff it, or something to that effect, which I liked. I like seeing these actors I remember back in the day, like Fred MacMurray as the mayor. Slim Pickens as a sheriff. He's not in the film too much, but it's nice to see him in there. Henry Fonda as a doctor who, because when people get stung, if they survive, there's the venom, and he's trying to find a cure. Because sometimes some people get better and they go into relapse, and others, they go fine. So he's trying to find a cure for that. Richard Chamberlain, who's another doctor. So I think because I like the cast and the score, the stuff that happens, like you have I just thought the film, even though it's long for me, I thought it had a good pace to it. It seems like something was always happening, whether like this poor kid's family gets killed, his mom and dad gets killed, and then later on he wants payback. Like I said, a whole town gets fucked up, and I think the bee attacks work. Um, One of the things I can agree on is that sometimes it's a little bit silly when Irwin Allen uses the slow-mo too much. He does use the slow-mo too much. I mean, sometimes it works. Sometimes it's a little bit silly, like when and then they like crash through a window. Two instances which I thought was really silly was when you have slow-mo, don't have someone scream in slow-mo. One is like a woman who's like at the school and she sees some kids dead, but then she turns and has this like scream on, oh. You should cut that out. Another is, for some reason they have this weird thing, like sometimes when people get stunned, it only happens like three times. Like when they get stunned, like the venom messes with their head so they see like bees. And for some reason they have like the lead girl, like she's in a relapse. She opens the door and there's like a giant bee, because again her mind's being messed up, and she closes the door real quick and it's like, you should cut that out. I mean, those instances of silliness, which for me is a handful, could have been cut out. Lessen the slow mo. People will probably have a problem with the length. Also, there's a little bit in the third act when they're actually taking Houston. There's a little bit I'm like wasn't sure on. For instance, there's a scene with an ambulance. I'm like, why does the ambulance guy not have any protective gear? Like, there's people outside with flamethrowers, protective gear, and then this guy is driving the ambulance and he has no protective gear. As in the same shot, it's like nighttime. Then another shot, it's like daytime. Then it hits a store and it blows up. I like the action of the hitting the store and blowing up. The ambulance blowing up. I'm like, wait a minute, it's nighttime, it's daytime? That was real quick. And the only other thing is that when Michael Caine and this girl, they're in the building, this building actually, and they escape through the stairwell because the bees have come in, and like the general and this other guy are using a flamethrower to fuck with the bees, to get them time to get out of there. They get out of there, and then all of a sudden they're at the airfield. I'm like, how the hell did they get from the building, which is with bees, and Houston is infected with bees, how the hell did they get from the building all the way downstairs to the airfield? It's like they should a little bit of disconnect from there. But it seems like I'm complaining. But like I said, that's probably like, a handful of things for me. I don't think this deserves a 4.1 IMDb. I don't think this is one of the worst films of all time. I've seen worse. You ever seen Feeders? You ever seen Feeders 2, Star Crystal? Have you ever seen some of the stuff that Charlie Band did? Especially lately, like Evil Bond? You know, you ever seen stuff on Sci-Fi? This is better because I thought the film took chances. I thought it had a little bit of balls to it because, like I said, the bees, when they're taking over the town, I like the bee attacks. Like, granted, sometimes the slow-mo is used a little too much, but sometimes it works. But it's not like older films where it's just cartoon bees put in the foreground. It looks like they actually use bees. And, you know, it wasn't CGI, obviously, and it wasn't just cartoon animation. I thought, wow, they're actually using bees, and actually, I thought that part looked good. When you see the swarm in the sky, a lot of people made fun of the effects of that. Granted, all the effects aren't the greatest, but for 1978, I think it works fine. The bees in the sky, I think they look fine. I mean, what the hell? They're bees in the sky. What the fuck else are they supposed to look like? They're bees in the sky. To me, that's what the bees in the sky would look like. You want to see bad? Watch The Bees with John Satin. They literally look like someone spilled ink in the sky. Watch Sci-Fi Channel when they use CGI bees. This, to me, I thought it looked good enough. Yeah, at the end when they finally kill the bees and you see like the fire with the oil, the effects, and you see like Michael Caine amongst it. The effects aren't the greatest there, but you know, it's 1978, so I kind of like let that go. But I was saying the balls, like, you know, during the attack on the town, they killed kids. Some of the kids did kill them. I'm like, oh shit, they actually did that. The little kid I was talking about that, whose parents were killed, and then Michael Caine actually bonds a little with the kid, and you know, kid wants revenge, which you can understand because it killed his parents. Well, he goes in a relapse, and you think the kid's gonna make it, and he dies. You go, oh shit, he died. Wow, I didn't think that kid would die. Okay. Or Henry Fonda, you have the typical thing, okay, Henry Fonda has the serum, and he's going to test it on himself. And a lot of times when that happens, like, oh, we finally, yep, we got it. Nope, he didn't. And he dies. You think he died, but then he dies. And there is no cure. So it's more about, okay, we got to stop the bees. I thought the bees really fucked shit up. I mean, they fucked up the nuclear power plants where it explodes. They fuck up people, like, you have flamethrower fun. I'm like, okay, you have that'd be a movie I'd direct. You know, if you don't have bees, have people with flamethrowers fucking them up. Okay, you have that. You have some of the town residents like Fred MacMurray and Ben Johnson and others on this train, and the bees fuck up the train, and the train fucking comes down, rolls down the hill, and explodes. So it's like, wow, they don't mess around with fucking people up. And I think that's why I like that they put a budget to this, that it's a big disaster film, but with bees. And, you know, it's obviously no CGI bees, it's not cartoon bees, it's bees. And I thought the actors played like they should have. I mean, they played it straight, and to me, that made the film work more. I mean, there is silly scenes in it, like, you know, when they get bit, they see the venom. You know, if you see the film, like the giant bee thing, when that woman is seeing things in her head, that was stupid. Some of the slow-mo when they get attacked a little bit, you know, they could have cut that back, but I was just entertained by this film. I was entertained by the cast, I'm basically looking through here in case there's something I missed. Because most of the film is trying to figure out what to do about these bees, how to stop these bees without fucking up their own environment, without fucking up their crops. Because, you know, it's we need those crops for food and stuff. So what can we do that's not going to kill people, like pesticides, and then dealing with, okay, this family gets killed, then a town gets killed, then the train gets fucked up, then a nuclear power plant gets fucked up, then the whole fucking city of Houston gets invaded by bees. And again, that's what I liked. It had a sort of big scale to it. And I thought the cast did fine. I thought the bee worked. once in a while, I thought it looked silly sometimes, but I thought sometimes it was actually well done, and I liked it. Sue me!